Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is the first video for Halloween Horror World. It's going to be my top 5 favorite mazes for Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood. So let's start with number 5. Number 5 is a maze that not a lot of people have done, but it was back in 2006 when John Murdy brought the event back to life at Universal's Hollywood. So the Asylum holds a very special place in my heart because it's what got me into loving Horror Nights. Even though I was freaking out because back then I used to be scared of live events. I still loved horror films, but I used to be scared of live events, and it really pushed me to go on and move on to the 2007 event and so forth, and it helped me get into that. And so I have to credit both my dad and the Asylum for doing that, because back then the Asylum was their only major maze. There wasn't 6 like there are today, or so apart from the House of Horrors, which was open anyway, there wasn't really anything major except for the Asylum. So but the Asylum itself, I still can remember the details. Fantastic maze. It was actually quite big. It was located where the Shrek maze locations are usually kept, like La Llorona, the Nightmare on Elm Street mazes. It's in that general area, and it was fantastic. The sets were fantastic. It really grew to my appreciation on how much craftsmanship go into these mazes, and it really put me in an appreciation, and it really sowed the seed for my love for Horror Nights. So that's why it's on my top 5. Number 4 is Friday the 13th Camp Blood, 2007 and 2008. I love Friday the 13th as a whole. This maze was everything I loved. I know a lot of people's favorite that year was Texas Chainsaw, but mine was definitely Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, the forest scenes were really cool. I mean, you felt like you were walking through Camp Blood or Camp Crystal Lake, and so it really immersed you. It was one of those mazes that worked really well in immersing their audience, in putting them in a location and you believing that location. The forest felt real. The cabins were fantastic. This is one of the most impressive sets I've seen at Horror Nights, and this was back in 2007 when they brought it back, so it was really good. Number 3, The Walking Dead: Dead Inside. And you may be wondering, well, why not the prison one? There is a reason. With the prison, that was basically all I liked about it. The first maybe half of the maze was fantastic. The prison looked amazing. The outside looked amazing, but once you got to Woodbury, it kind of dropped the ball. It felt like you were in a meat factory. It didn't feel like you were at Woodbury, essentially. But anyway, Dead Inside. Dead Inside felt like I was in the set for The Walking Dead, both season 1 and season 2. The first half, which is the hospital, the facade looked amazing with all the bullet holes in the rock and all the dead bodies laid out. It's fantastic. And as you're walking through the hospital and getting to Atlanta looked amazing. And that's impressive when you can make a city and minimize it and put it in a maze and you feel like it's in a city. That's fantastic. And the tank, wow, the tank blew me away. When I first walked through it and I saw it, I was amazed, because when I first heard that they were putting a tank in that maze, I'm like, well, how are they going to do this? And that's the beauty of illusion and Chris Williams' art design. It was just fantastic. So that's why that's number 3. Number 2 is a more recent maze, and that's Insidious Into the Further. And I've already said that Insidious is my personal favorite for 2013, and it's a lot of other people's personal favorites. It got the highest rating for last year, and it's because it was daring. They'd never done a spirit maze before, and it worked really well, at least for me. I loved it, and I loved the movies to begin with. So I was getting a kick out both the scenes, the flow of the maze was very smooth. There was good transitions. The character actors were fantastic. The scare actors did a fantastic job at performing their parts. The demon definitely was the highlight for that. He or whoever it was really into it, and so if by chance you were the scare actor watching this, good job. You were one of my top 5. Well, I should do a top 5 favorite scare actors, but you were definitely on the top there. Fantastic, very into it. So I really liked Insidious. The way they did the further was fantastic. When I went through, they had the smog effects going. I know the fog effects. Sorry, I know for a lot of people, they didn't turn them on or they had settled. But for me, I went through when they had the fog effects and it worked. So that's number 2. So now on to number 1, my all-time favorite Horror Nights maze. What could top Insidious? Well, for me, I'm actually sitting in front of it. The Thing, Assimilation. I have never enjoyed a maze as much. I mean, I enjoy all of them, but I've never enjoyed a maze as much as The Thing. The sets, I felt like it was in Antarctica. This was another one going back to like Friday the 13th, where it was very immersive. You were put in Antarctica with this creature that can take on human form, and it just worked really well. And the fact that they worked with Tom and Alec from ADI to use some of the suit molds was a brilliant touch of genius. And thank you, Tom and Alec, for letting Boneyard Effects use the suits, because they just work so brilliantly. Definitely a top maze. The creature effects were fantastic. The scare actors really got into their role. The sets were just brilliant, mimicking Antarctic life. So my top maze of all time, until I come across something better in the future, The Thing, Assimilation. So thank you for watching, audience, and I will be having a new video out very soon. And I hope you enjoyed this first part of Halloween Horror World, and I hope to see you soon. Crazy Englishman, signing out.